Yes, this is what's today? Thursday. It's been quite a couple of 2-3 weeks. I think everybody can attest to that. Everyone I've talked to, pretty much everyone I've talked to. How about y'all? How's your last 2-3 weeks been? It'll keep you humble. There's no doubt about that. It'll keep you humble.
We're wondering.
What's that?
Kind of feel like we've floated away or flown off the planet.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's trippy. It's a lot of streams coming in to me, like a lot of conscious streams that are out there, and you know they're there, and they're all talking to you at the same time. Okay, we got a few people in the house. We got 17 people. We're going to play a special intro to get us started today. You might recognize this person. That's an excellent intro, I must say. That's I probably play. Oh, hang on a second.
Well, that got me moving.
Did you guys know that he played that?
I did not know he was going to play that. No. That's awesome.
Well, I probably play about, I don't know. I haven't done too many Soulogy remixes in the last 30 days. I like to do one a day, but I probably played, I don't know. I have a huge archive, but like say in this last run of 2-3 months, I probably played about 40 or 50. And that's one of the top 5, based on, when I watch the audience, see what's working. They really like that one. So it's very cool.
I'd love to speak about the energy I was in when I made that. Yeah. It's all about breaking out of the matrix and coming out of the shell and ripping off the layers of identity and like activating myself in that way, just like coming fully out. And that was a really nice reminder for myself right now from my old self.
Right on. Yeah. Yeah. There's so many expressions being put out that are not, they're not verbal. You've got some that are lyrical and rhyme, and you've got other things, poetry and prose, but the nonverbal stuff is really coming in. Light language. What's so funny?
Because, we were in flow yesterday. Kate was speaking to us only in song, like for hours. She was just downloading straight songs and sending us song files, and we were just flowing in this new fluid way of exchanging codes. And I'll let you speak about that if you feel.
Soulogy Fest that's coming up, the first one we've ever done. We've done some soul gatherings, and they've always been kind of impromptu with 1 or 2 or 3 days notice. But I've always, I don't know, I guess it's a download, had this vision, and it's not about the Soulogy Fest. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what you're talking about. And I always saw like this stage and then a big screen on each side facing the audience with images or videos, and then having like a DJ, kind of MC, preacher, comedian, which could be me, could be somebody else. And then you just have people come up and they just take turns doing whatever they want to do. And we've done this on a local level. We've had between like, say 40 and 80 people in New Jersey in a parking lot, and people just walked up and shared whatever they wanted to share. Sometimes it was a testimony, sometimes it was a dance, sometimes it was a poetry, and I think this is important to keep adding frequencies to an ever-expanding vibration, because that's what we're all doing. But yeah,
Beautiful.
I'm into that. So you were in you were downloading songs yesterday, Venus. Do you have one off the top of your head? Did you memorize them?
You know what? It was just complete flow state. I don't know. Maybe at the end we'll end on a transmission or something. But yeah, absolutely. Just feeling. We were just saying yesterday, there's just been such a shift in the communication channels. Like, I don't know if you're feeling it, but quite literally, I'm feeling pain. As if I've got something going on with my sinuses, our jaws are aching, and I'm very much struggling to kind of sometimes formulate sentences. It just wants to be expressed exactly like you said, through movement or song or just flow.
Yeah. Creation. Well, if you're not going to sing, we always have Alicia Keys.
Yeah, Alicia, sing us home. She froze.
That's her expression.
Yeah, she might need
In
to
the
come
moment.
back.
Yeah, she will. She'll figure it out. I was going to say, if she'll do Alicia Keys, Empire State of Mind, I'll do Jay-Z.
Right? Yeah. I'm being reminded of some dreams that I've been having lately. My dreams have been back online, coming in strong, and just been dreaming about new languages and us learning, like literally speaking a language that's not even born yet. We're like formulating as we're in the moment, as we're in flow. We're making new language together. We're making new ways to communicate. We're even somehow forming new land. The dreams have been about creating new playgrounds for adult children, creating new ways of living together. And, we're not necessarily looking back for references. We can't look back anymore because we're in that moment where every step we take, we're creating it as we go. So it just takes our active participation in that energy and in that movement to bring it through purely as children, but with the maturity, I suppose, with some sort of a maturity. There's been a message about maturation, but then a new definition of what mature means, because that maturation is bringing up the child within it. It's allowing the child to, the inner child essence to come with it and come out through it. And it's mature enough to create the space to allow that expression to come through.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's, to me, it comes down to God, goddess, source, universe, whatever you want to call it. It's not going to give us, it's only going to give us the level of our, our higher sensitivities, skills, and abilities. It'll be, it's going to be proportionate to the level of conscious, responsible co-creation that we contain. you're not
Absolutely.
gonna get superpowers anymore, or even, you know, secreted or esoteric information or whatever, without having, you know, passed through the 2 dragons and entered the cave.
Right.
They're not going to let you go in unless you know,
That's right.
unless you have the integrity and the purpose and, you know, service and Trinity energy.
Yeah. Actually, I want to add something for this, actually, and just kind of continuing from what you were saying, Kandice, about the children, and really what's coming through is, you know, it's time for purity of our soul essence to create and hold this field open for these new children to come in, and remind us, you know, there's different ways of kind of expressing and being, and yeah, I've really been with the white dragon, and that's why I was laughing a little bit, because the intro that you chose, Todd, this was just such a transmission of the white dragon. And the white dragon came through yesterday. It was one of the transmissions that came through, and I think, I can't remember exactly, but it was really a message about embracing creation from a new perspective. And kind of that takes us back to how we communicate and really honoring authenticity. And I really, truly think, you know, that's where I'm at right now. It's like every path.
Yeah, I've had it happen too many times on this show. And I think it has something to do with, well, first of all, it is the 1st of April, isn't it? Oh, we're back online now.
Yeah, we also have 10 consecutive galactic activation portals, don't we? Starting yesterday. So
Say that again. Say it again.
we also have 10 consecutive galactivation. I can't even speak.
Oh my God, I love you.
Galactivations.
You took that right. We got that right at the same time, Kate. And then
So-
you spoke it.
So 10 galactivations in how many days?
It's one a day. So we have a galactic activation portal open for the next 9 days, because yesterday was the first one.
Wow.
It's powerful.
So what does that mean? Do we need to go hide in our bedrooms and turn the lights off and get under the covers? Huh?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just learning to ride the waves, and for us, I think we're kind of experiencing it through the way that we want to express and feel into the energy. I don't know. I feel quite literally I'm being sucked into the void of creation.
You're just right in my head, Kate. We're in the same vortex. I wanted to speak about the 41 and weave that through into the galactic activation portal days that we're in consecutively. Each one is offering an opportunity of exponential growth, of quantum leap, of not only just clearing out, but accelerating through every cell, every single cell. And within the center point of every single cell is something that we could call the source point. So I just mentioned 41, and forgive me, I'm just going to be going all over the place, but this is the current gene key chart of the now that we are in. I just printed it out. Did you guys disappear? Oh no, you just made me on the thing.
Yeah,
okay, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, put it up a little closer, then hold it still. It'll come into focus. There it goes.
This is the gene key chart of right now for the whole entire planet. And I'm going to try and turn it a little bit. There we go. So you can see I'm kind of talking about the 41 there in the culture sphere, which is the fabric of society. It's like how we all interweave and how what we're offering to one another, how we're working together. And that's in 41, which is prime emanation, which is a start codon, which is restart. So we're seeing how in this galactic portal that we're in, this 10-day portal period, every day is a restart, acceleration, blast off period where we can really use the momentum of the energies that we're being gifted right now collectively towards unification in diversity, bringing through unity consciousness, reprogramming ourselves with the prime emanation code, prime pulse. And for whatever reason, it says it's in line 2 partnership. So this is like, oh my goodness, our direct relations with everything as a feedback system. I don't want to get too far ahead here.
That feels right though. Like, what did you say that last part? A detection system. What was
The
it?
biofeedback.
Yeah, like the
in immediate back and forth relation of information we're getting. Yes. We're getting efficient with it.
Yes.
And we're literally being reprogrammed into the prime pulse, the prime creator. So it's like all of our listening skills are deepening, our communication skills are deepening. As we're being rewired and reworked, old ways of speaking is going to feel weird. That's why when we're trying to talk to each other, we're just kind of like,
right.
I don't even know what I'm saying and why. Who am I? Where am I? What reality is this? What program are you agreeing to? That doesn't interface with the one I'm agreeing to. Because when we're communicating with each other, each person's holding a certain reality frequency. You can feel those realities when they come together. It's like 2 realities speaking with all different agreements. So it's like my definitions are coming together with your definitions, and sometimes they'll battle it out and we have conflict.
Yeah.
And control can come in, and we want to be like, well, I'm controlling my reality based on my viewpoints, and then you have a standoff. Why I'm bringing that up is because our life's work right now as a collective is in the 21, which is valor, which is moving from control to a inner authority to valor, which speaks about bringing through the virtues. So we have an opportunity right now to bring through and recode ourselves with higher virtues.
Yeah.
And those higher virtues aren't greater than, better than you, whatever. They're just your essential birth. They're the essential pulse of creation. Original. Thank you. Okay, I kind of went on a tangent there, but I actually really wanted to say, Kate, you were talking about the children, and as soon as you did, I got to read this. So I'm going to read this, and I'm going to shut up for a little bit because I want you guys to be able to
Just
speak.
Keep going.
We'll go back into this after. The 7th city really wants to be spoken to whoever's watching this right now. And the 7th gene key is from division to guidance to virtue. And the title is Virtue is its own reward. That means when no one's watching, that means we're starting to become virtuous. And every single virtuous act that is done when nobody is watching is amplified and rippled into creation. It is the message that is being sent to the inner codes of everything. They're ready. They're coming up. They're ready. They're stepping in. That's the I am ready.
Right on.
Yeah. So, okay.
I'm digging that.
Going into the virtuous energy, this city concerns the future. The future is about the children. As the 7th city, virtue flowers in humanity. One of the first places it will manifest is through parents and teachers. Children who grow up among virtuous people, they need no kind of education or guidance. Even now, this small piece of information is the greatest key for parents. Children who grow up in the, and I want to highlight this word, the aura of virtue will take that energy into whatever sphere of life they move through. And in so doing, they will slowly but surely transform the future of the planet. Buzz. So this is all about pulling energy from the morphogenetic field and how we're going to be all doing this collectively. This is the new teaching.
Yeah. So if we are, and it certainly feels like it, having instantaneous biofeedback from each other, and because I can see that, I can feel it in myself, and I can observe it as well, because it's putting not a bad strain on how we communicate, but it's becoming different. And if we're having an immediate biofeedback experience with each other, then I would have to think that we're actually having it with everything external of us, right? It's crazy. It's like you have 50 different languages, right? 50 different spoken languages, and they're all blending into one.
Yes.
And yet nobody knows the other language of the other people. Yet there's a language being heard in between all the 50 languages that everyone can hear.
Absolutely.
You know, I got the words as you were speaking, Kandice, quantum origami. And I'm getting a vision of, you know, folding paper into these different shape-shifting origami sequences. And it's like we're going through all of them and merging them, blending them, learning to move and transfiguration, right? This is bringing us back to that theme that we keep speaking about. Configuring our communication channels and configuration of the macabres, our light bodies, learning to dance and move together.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we bypass the mind or the mental construct, which I'm seeing as the Tower of Babel, we become these pure conduits and transformers, and we link into one another through our auric field, and we amplify and we teach one another by our ability, each individually and uniquely, to embody the virtues. And the virtues are within us. We're born with them. We're encoded with these virtuous energies and patterns that are always within us, sort of asking us to birth them into being. And I love how it says here, as the title of this, virtue is its own reward.
Yeah.
This is the new value system. This is where we're going to create from. And there's a big message that wants to be spoken, is the collective is actually going to become the new leader.
Yeah.
The collective is coming, the new leadership. So we didn't know what we wanted to speak about before we came on today. And right before we came on, I got this lightning bolt of, and I'm getting a lot of energy into my body right now. The new leadership that's coming into this planet, and it's the collective that's leading.
Right.
This whole pyramid is going to go upside down and inside out. I saw that. I saw the pyramid go upside down, and then I saw it get pulled inside out. So the top of the pyramid went sucked right into the center as it was spinning.
Mm.
And it's like, it's going to be led from the center outwards. Yeah. And every single spoke on that wheel is going to be a significant aspect supporting the heart hub. We all, wheel of one. Wheel, we all. And I think I spoke to you about this before. I'm getting deja vu. I think I pulled a card on the second time I saw you, Todd, or on here, did a show with you, and it was the wheel. And the wheel of fortune. When we all become that wheel, we share that fortune. We become the wheel of fortune. It's the ring of prosperity.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm resonating with this. So, and it's good to hear other people are having these instantaneous biofeedback. It doesn't mean you understand it, right? When everything's happening, but I think what's happening is people are speaking less in the old way, which means they're kind of like, aligning with speaking in the new way, which requires fewer words. I still say there's almost like this automatic pilot thing happening, but at the same time, we have a regulator within ourselves.
I did a little post yesterday about the collapsing the Akashic records, which are, ultimately the memory banks of all the stories, of all the times, of all the eons. And, we're going beyond that. We're going beyond that into these pure quantum realms, which feel so empty and yet so full of just pure creation seed. And so I'm witnessing this actually. I do regressions with people. And what I'm really noticing, which is super interesting, is that people no longer in the sessions are going into what we could call other lifetimes. They're not going into quote unquote past parallel lifetimes. They're literally morphing into that morphogenetic field that Kandice mentioned. They're literally one with these rainbow plasma light, and there's nothing to understand. And I'm having to kind of prime their logical mind and say, let go of the need to comprehend and understand, because this isn't to be understood.
Right. Yeah. Yes, and I'll give you an example from an individual level, not because it's me, just because I can feel what you're saying. So as this instantaneous biofeedback's been coming in, and there seemed to be like a blast of it on or around the equinox. It was like almost overwhelming. It was very intensely felt. I mean, it affected all the bodies that comprise us. And one of the things I noticed is, I projected, for instance. I sent a message I didn't think long enough, before I push send, or whatever the case was. I immediately, when I acknowledged it within myself, right, I immediately understood what? I understood, like, you know what? You guys have done a lot more work than you think. That's not attached to you. It's gone already, kind of thing. And this is the virtues. This is the integrity. This is, not sounding pious, but it's like we're being told moment by moment when we're out of integrity. And if you, at least from my perspective, if you continue to deny something or not accept something, really, because I think that's our biggest issue, is we don't want to accept something about ourselves, or at least be open to it, then your body gets really tensed up, your mood gets tensed up. And I think, that we're getting a handle on this, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And whether you look at it as teams or universal energy or whatever form it comes in, I just feel like we have a tremendous amount of support. And I'm trying to do more asking for assistance, not from a place of weakness, but from a place of equality. Because I know they're learning from us as we're learning from them, right? It's a mutual thing. And that's the equal energy exchange of the universe. So I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. Hope that helped somebody.
I'm going to read what Alicia said here. Gene Key 40, divine will, surrender and bring total relaxation to the body to allow the divine to flow through the vessel with ease and flow and grace. Yeah. Oh, this deep relaxation, this message of this deep relaxation. So she's saying, calm the nervous system. Breathe in the new. Ooh. In this 10-day period that we're in, that's such an important message for us as we are repatterning. And inside repattern is somehow reparent and repartner. As we're repatterning, reparenting, and repartnering
I like that.
with all of our relations, inwards and outwards in all directions. Full reconstruction and absolute, I'm hearing like constructive criticism. It's like constructive awareness, like things that are just being brought to our awareness, and we can just deeply relax and let these waves roll through us and see within every single cell of our being, every single aspect of our being, within the center of our being, the eye, the third eye. Is that the 17, Kate? That's coming through right now again. The third eye, the true eye, within the center of every single aspect of creation, allowing that to open up to the prime pulse emanation and allowing that energy to flow through and lovingly reshape and recreate our beings in this time without any need to force. We're literally just using the force, or being moved through by the force of nature itself, by the course of nature itself. Breathe the fire up your spine, Alicia's saying.
Yeah.
Being reminded of, I don't know what it's called, Kandice, you'll probably know because you're good with biology. Those little crystals that are stored in the muscles, I think they're called fascicle. It's called, I think that's the scientific analogy. Maybe somebody in the chat will know, but it's like this beautiful network of different crystals that we store in the body, and some of them are like liquid crystals, some of them are the piezo fascia. Is that right? Oh, somebody said that, right?
Someone saying myofascia.
Oh, fascia. Yeah, I'm probably just pronouncing it wrong. I'm just reminded of that because this is where we can store so much of that tension. Store so much of that stress and that tension and that trauma. So really just working with releasing and actually, massage or just working and speaking to the muscular system, because this crystal system, it combines kind of the matter and the energy systems of the body. It's called kind of the liquid crystalline matrix of the body, and it's really working with these plasma rays coming in. And so something that I know some people that I'm connected to are doing and finding very, very helpful to release that stress is just communicating with that crystalline matrix, whatever it's called. I think I pronounced it wrong earlier. And this is actually, the body's primary communication system. So, where we're thinking the brain, we're thinking the nervous system, actually this crystal system is something that is very helpful to kind of connect to right now, just communicate to it directly.
I'm like really feeling that as you're speaking. I'm feeling just every cell, every part of my body is sort of shaking right now, but not in a bad way. Like I can feel this electricity and this energy that's like just moving through my body. And if I just sort of let go and allow that feeling, I can feel that I'm within that is information, or like the energy, like everything itself is speaking, everything is sort of resonating, and there's a transmission in that. Unlimited Kundalini energy wants to flow within your body. Surrender and allow Note the sacral center. Open and release all traumas, fears, and cellular history so we can bring the fire up through to the crown. The crown is the root. The crown is the root. No, come back. The root is the crown.
Yeah. The crown is the root is the crown.
Yes. Yes.
The crown is the root is the crown. Merge the heart in the sacral. Bring the lower desires. Yeah. Bring the lower desires to the heart.
A message that has been coming through really strongly with some beings that are playing together is stacking ourselves one on top of the other, root to crown, root to crown, root to crown, and connecting and linking up with one another. It's like we are this massive chain. We're like the chain of DNA.
Yeah.
Each one of us is like its own letter, like A, C, G, A, whatever it is. It's like we are this transcript. We're this new transcription, transcriptase. We are the negatives of the Polaroid that the light comes through. As we all link together, we become coherent strands of reality, linking together to one another. So it's like as I fire up my Kundalini and I link up to you, we're passing it on. We're becoming this chain link fence.
Yeah, electric. It's electric.
Electric fence.
It's an electric fence.
Love it.
No, but that's real too, because if you look at it from an individual level, if you look at it like, metaphorically, energetically speaking, as we do what we do, that we do have an electric field around us. We're on peace, power, and protection. So now you have two or more. Now you have two or more.
Yes.
Where you have this instantaneous biofeedback. You're having this incredibly accelerating telepathic level of communication, regardless of what happens on a verbal level. The growth or the expansion, understanding, or comprehension isn't just limited to one of the two. Now it's both. And so, like you said, there's all these points of contention in the field, which are really minor. And each one of them, you have, like you said, a standoff, and then things are resolved. And in this, evolution of relationships, repartnering and reparenting to ourselves, because it's the same equation. We're moving very rapidly. And the crazy thing is, all the evidence is in the moment, where you're at, with who you are, with what you're doing, because you're not going to read about it in the newspaper, and you're not going to see it on the mainstream media, or even in, I would say, a lot of alternate news platforms, because they're talking about the stories and the narratives. This is the fucking story, right?
Yes, we are being informed. We are all being informed from within. The more we open, the more we let go of fear and embrace this new, and embrace the true, and embrace this inner view, and together, ooh. Sorry, I just...
Yeah. It's the Kundalini energy. Everybody's been walking around.
Well, it's the inner view where you access the inner virtues. And I was just seeing that, like, together we are this long virtuous chain of command. This is the new command. This is the new leadership. We do this together. We bring this fruit through together. We are informed together through each other, through one another.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You just made me think of something, and I lost my thought. But it's, it revolves around virtue.
Oh, Alisha.
And I remember years ago when I reawoke, that I found this image, and I can't find it right now. So it's this guy, and he's like got his hands like this and his elbows on his knees, and he's sitting down, his butt to the ground, like in the thinking position. And because I used to get the pictures after I got off the street, I'd find a picture and then I'd make words to the picture. And I play with like the color. So I made it like this really far out green, and he's in the middle, and it's kind of like a shadow. And the words came in, I am so humbled by the virtues of my soul. And,
Beautiful.
like 1,500 memes. I think that's probably my favorite one. But it was not because of the meme. It was because of the message, so when you're talking about virtues, I mean, that's a huge, huge energy, a huge word, a huge part of us that has a whole different meaning, like everything else, of our new awareness of our true nature, or our truer nature.
Yeah, and these things can't be faked.
No.
They absolutely cannot be faked. It is what it truly is, and that's what's happening. And that's how we're being informed, and that's how we're repatterning. If anybody wants to look this up, I would highly encourage anyone who could get their hands on Gene Key 7 and read it for yourself. Open your heart and unlock the gates. Leave the stories behind and unlock the gates, as Alicia would say, and just allow this information to come through. It talks about in the shadow frequency of the 7th key, which is division. And this shadow is always ruling today's political systems across the whole expanse of our planet. So the ancient Chinese named the 7th hexagram of the I Ching the army, which is extremely fitting. The army represents the real power in a country on a political level. And if you don't control the army, you have no real power. So this symbol of an army also represents the idea of power through force rather than power through inspiration, which is the true nature of the leadership that expresses through the 17th gift. So we all know about those shadow frequencies of division. Division creates an attitude of every man for himself, or only slightly better every business for itself. So we're moving out of this. We are breaking through this. Yeah. And as we move into the gift frequency, it's the power behind the throne. And it's the true representation of democracy. The gift of guidance rests upon the ideal of service. To truly guide another person or group of people, you need to put aside your own opinions and judgments and listen intently to their needs. Great guides are great listeners. Sometimes simply being listened to in the right way, a person finds the answer to their problem without the direct input from the guide. So this again is that powerful energy of being that we can just express through our aura. So Alicia is saying, purifying the astral plane, taking responsibilities for our emotions. So this talks about quantum leaps in this key. It talks about people who are not leading from the front, but are guiding from within the energy of the group itself, creating a space in which an organic team harmony can develop on its own with minimal interference. This is a message that I was getting before I found the Gene Keys, is we rise together. We're literally rising together. It's not just one person that's got to wake up all alone and face the world. We're literally all rising together. And as we enter the gift frequency of this key, it talks about repairing the world. It says right here, repairing the world. Oh, sorry, that's the virtue. Despite many interpretations of the word virtue, true virtue has nothing to do with our concepts of morals or behaviors. This is something deeper. This is something deep within our genetics. So it says true virtues. The world has seen very few leaders that have true virtue.
True.
So this citic frequency waits for specific times in history when the frequency of the mass consciousness is elevated enough for it to be recognized. So Lao Tzu speaks about true virtue as it impacts society through the superior man. Virtue is its own reward. Therein lies the other great secret of virtue. It lies beyond the need for recognition, beyond the need to be in service. Virtue is simply an unimpeded expression of nature through men or women willing to live in their zenith. This is us just like flowering into our peak perfection and offering it to one another. As each one of us flowers together, as each one of us blossoms together in our true potentiality, that's the synarchy, that's unity consciousness offering itself to one another. And as we link to one another, your superpower becomes my superpower, and my superpower becomes your superpower. I don't need to do what you're doing because you're doing it for me, for we. I honor your gifts, and as I rise you up, I know it raises me up, and I know it raises we up. And this is going to become the new prosperity and the new currency. And when we speak of I, it is no longer I. It is no longer single.
I'm just giggling here. I'm literally with telepathically communicating right now. I'm just anchoring these codes through.
Bless you, sister. Oh, so may I continue?
Yes, of course.
Okay. The city of virtue is a guiding purity that pulls humanity into the future. It constantly bubbles beneath the surface of humanity. Every truly virtuous deed done by human beings represents an upsurge in the consciousness of the totality. This city is in fact our insurance policy that we will never destroy ourselves. Everywhere, every day, people commit small and often unseen acts of virtue, and the power of these acts is incalculable. They actually offset the power of chaos, which we're actually in right now. In our vocation sphere of the collective chart here, we're in the 3, which is moving from chaos to innovation to innocence. And you could say that that is the sphere of our collective core wound focal point right now. Oh, Alicia's saying something. A family united can take down an entire government, the 37th gene key, which is tenderness. Settle what keeps you separate from another. Any belief that keeps you in separation from another is a program. Delete the program. So there's a cute little story here in this key, and it's from the Jewish book of mysticism, the Zohar. So it's a powerful analogy to the journey through this 7th gene key. It's encapsulated in the Kabbalist concept known as Tikkun Olam. Sorry if I butchered that. A phrase usually translated as repairing the world. The Kabbalists say that when the Creator made the world, He created a series of vessels to hold the divine light. But as the light flowed down into these vessels, they shattered and fell towards the realm of matter. Thus, the world in which we live is made up of countless shards of the original vessels in which the divine light is trapped. The Kabbalists go on to say that every virtuous act committed by a human being helps to repair one of these broken shards. So this is something that I was also shown, that we literally each have a shard, or we each have a key. And as we come forward with it and offer it to one another, it could just collectively builds upon that momentum of that gift as we gift ourselves to the one, to the whole. And it doesn't mean that you have to lose yourself, but it does mean that we sacrifice the lower self. That's what a lot of us are being asked of right now, is to sacrifice our lower selves. And when I say lower, it's just something that does not truly benefit,
Yeah. Something that doesn't align with you.
Right.
Right.
With the core essence.
Yeah. I mean, like it's like we're being spoon fed. Somebody said we're on drip, 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 and rightfully so, because we can only handle so much at a time.
Right.
And I think everybody would love to speed up, but yeah, that's what's happening, is regardless of what discussions we get into or what thoughts we have of, oh, this is right, that is wrong, I'm right, I'm wrong, he's wrong, she's right, he's right, rather than, regardless of whatever that is and whatever level of influence or impact it has in our experience, one thing is happening is, and if something doesn't align with your soul, you're being told. The question is, what is it? Because we have the multiple makeup, which is mind and ego and brain and little inner child and all these different voices. But the question is, what is it? Is it something outside of me, or is it me? And I think we're getting to a new level of, it's always me.
Yeah. And what you said there made me reminded me of a key that we were just in. We were just in the 17 and the 18, and you don't need to know those numbers. I'll explain what it is. The 18 is the shadow of judgment and opinions and victim mind. Like, we've definitely had lots of playground with that facility, and we're moving into a greater, more expanded way of perceiving with all of our senses. It's not just isolated to mental capacity. It's like our entire being is becoming a mind, heart sensing all in one. So it's like we're getting informed by all of our faculties, which makes it so that we're not just constricted or funneled into a mentality anymore. I just want to read this real quick. It's just a little thing. The 18th city, so this is moving from judgment to integrity to perfection, the healing power of the mind. The 18th city contains the knowledge of how to bring perfection to earth through the mental plane. To the one who lives within this frequency, perfection is already here as an imprint underlying all creation. These people live in the Eden that we all long for, but paradoxically, they must help move that state from the inner reality to the outer reality. Yeah. And I feel like that's, something that many of us are taking on, weaving through that Eden that lives within us, weaving it through into the outer reality. And we cannot do this on our own. We need one another.
Yeah.
We truly do, and not in a codependent way.
No.
We're not here to recreate that with one another. That's the fail-safe that burns out those links.
Yeah. Well, and what you said, just to go back to it for a second, I mean, we know that this thing operates from an energetic standpoint as within, without. But what I hear in your words, and those words, and I've actually didn't come up with this myself. There's been people that have come on the show in the last couple of months that have said it. And that is, we know we have to get out there. And, for many, and not me, because I guess I was a little different, but for many, empaths, if not the vast majority of them, that's the last thing that they ever wanted to do. But I really do. I told Morgan last night, and I don't even know why I said this. I've heard her and other people say for years that we're going to get to a point where we get put to work. that's never really been in my field that it would be one way or the other. But I told her last night, I said, there's going to be a lot of people that need help. I think personally, on a personal level, I've vastly underestimated the amount of people that we've come here to serve. And not that we're any different, but everybody has a role. Like you said, everybody has a piece. And I do think that we're going to get out there. The hermits and the recluses and our periods of privacy and isolation, we'll still have those moments, but I believe we're here to serve. And there's something about a physical presence, regardless of how much power and awareness we've gained from being on the internet. The ether's the highest physical manifestation of the ethers. Regardless of that, there's nothing more powerful than being in the physical presence and bringing all the frequencies we bring every day and having that added frequency, because that's a huge catalyst for expansion, especially in this energy of instantaneous biofeedback. As we adjust to it and become familiar and comfortable with it and start to utilize it almost like a second nature, these gatherings, even two people, every day, every moment, there's so much to be added to our essences, and our expanding wholeness through coming together with the same intention from the heart.
So Alicia wants to mention that there's going to be, she keeps getting this message that many beings are going to have a Kundalini awakening. With all these waves, like many beings are going to be coming into this Kundalini awakening, and we're going to be assisting and these beings that are essentially going to be needing to integrate the energies and then the upheaval that's going to be happening within their bodies. And how do we do that? We embody more. So as the energy pushes along the conveyor belt, beings who have been at, you could say, whatever frequency or position that we hold, are being pushed into the next rung of service and assistance. She says the massive waves of Kundalini is happening now, and that's, we're in this 10-day huge portal period. We go up a few days, or I don't know how many days, we come back down, then we're going into another 10-day galactic portal period. And Alicia has all of this information on her page that she's going to be sharing more and more, just to get people who are interested in assisting and taking advantage of these waves, and also people who are going, what the hell is happening to me?
That's most of us.
It can help with that.
So that's on her Facebook page?
Yeah, on her Facebook page.
Alicia Young Hall Facebook page.
So we're in the 21 right now in our life's work as the planets chart. Okay, so this is like what we're meant to do right now as a collective, embody this valor. And this has to do with the new age of chivalry. It ties into the King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table and the all for one and the one for all, and a king that would sacrifice his life for any single one that served below him, because the crown and the root are one. The root is the crown and the crown is the root, and the crown knows that, and the crown would give its life for any one of the root. So it's like, it's the circle, it's the interconnected all the way up and all the way through the heart. The heart is at the center of the round table, coming into this entire living organism as humanity. Right. Alicia says, we came here to remember who we are. Oh, I think she said that amnesia is wearing off.
Yeah. I think that's another thing too. I mean, like I was saying, for me, it's like there's more streams. There's like 7 or 8 streams there.
Yeah.
And they're there in a different way. I don't know. They're like more a part of my field. They don't just fade in and fade out, or I want to go check in with this aspect of myself, and I can do that. We can do that. It's like they're present, and there's some level of reception, and also some level of sending out signal based on what I'm receiving. But to me, it's just very new. It's very unfamiliar, yet it's familiar. It has like a dream state quality to it. I'm trying to consciously slow down my energy, because for me, it feels like I can see more that way. I don't know. And I'm not saying that works for everybody. Everybody's different. I found this, I used to read a lot, and one of my favorite books was Emerson's Essays. And I remember this quote, but I couldn't remember it verbatim. So when you brought up virtue, he wrote at one time, "The only reward of virtue is virtue."
Yes, it's his own reward.
Yeah.
Sorry, I gotta say this. Someone in the comments is saying magenta ray transforms red ray as 15th dimension re-encrypts dimensions 1. So just a few days ago, we did a little grid work, a little raw, real grid work on Facebook Live with babies crying in the background and mamas, just all natural.
Yeah.
And at the end of that grid work, or in the middle or something, these magenta rays came down on River's face, on Alicia's daughter's face. And it was just incredible. We got pictures of it. So it was really beautiful, that confirmation shared in the comments.
Wow.
We're really coming into unity in so many ways. We're being rebalanced and everything from within, without. And it's a tremendous process that we're going through. You'll feel levels of confusion.
Yeah.
It's like waking up from a coma or a stasis. And you're just kind of like, what year is it? Who's in charge? Like, kind of like, what's the new? Because it can feel disorienting. And I'm speaking from my own experience. I'm saying this from how I've felt. I've been feeling disoriented, discombobulated, just all sorts of weird ass feelings lately. And I've wanted to tuck my tail and run and just be like, I'm deleting this. I'm out.
Yeah. It's like, who am I? Why am I here?
Yeah.
Who's that person standing next to me?
Yeah, it
felt
like that.
I don't know.
But then at the same time, you're getting clarity.
Exactly.
At the same time as you're losing your ass, you're finding it.
It's like you're being downloaded, and or I'm sorry, I said it yesterday. For me, anyway, it's like I'm purging and expanding at the same time.
Yes.
Like normally it's like you go through this purging and then there's a little integration, then you expand. But to me, it's like all happening at the same time. And I don't know what to say or do about it.
That's exactly, Todd. It's like you're throwing up and you're eating at the same time. And normally those things don't go together.
Yes. That's a perfect metaphor. That's a perfect metaphor, actually. That really is. I mean, seriously, we got the Soulogy Fest coming up, and I haven't done anything to speak of. Not that I'm a great artist, because I'm not, but I can do some stuff. But anyway, so I thought, well, I will try to write some new lyrics, some new poetry, some new rap, whatever, and really put some intention and effort into it, like I haven't done in a couple of years. And I was listening to different instrumentals, and it was like stuff I'd heard before, and styles that I'd written to and created with before. And I was dead in the water. Like, I was just like, where is he?
Wow.
And then it came in. This was just last night. And then it came in, and it was like, he's not here anymore. But you can obviously pull from that, but it's not going to feel right. You're supposed to create something new. Always create something new, which is what I've always been told about Soulogy. And even in my relationship with Morgan, always go to the new, right? And so right in that moment, my friend, one of my collaborators, who's a great multi-instrumental musician, just incredible person and incredible spirit, he sends me this SoundCloud 21 minutes that he made himself with instruments and software. And I listened to it, and I started instead of writing it, I just started rapping, and I started doing like sacred song and just playing with it and trying to come up with something new. But, you know, I say all this because I really feel what you said earlier about division, and you were speaking, or it was speaking in terms of the collective experience. But I believe that these frequencies or programs or loops or whatever you want to call it, consciousnesses themselves of division are hitting us one after another like machine guns on every single front, whether it be a personal relationship, whether it be a perception of a government, whether it be. That's why I'm paying a lot of attention to what I don't like. And I'm going there and going, okay, it's not that, it's not them, it's not location, it's not whatever, it's me. What is it? That's why I was saying earlier that what you said, you know, the question is, what is it?
Ooh. Okay, so that reminds me of something that I've been reading. I've been deep in the keys, and they're all merging into one key. So I can't even. I'm beginning not even to be able to separate the information in this book anymore. And it talks about in here bringing through this frequency that is your true frequency, and one of them, it's like taking on the world. It feels like you're taking on the world because you're now initiating core frequency. That frequency that is within you is now going like this, and you are feeling the pressure of the world, and you're literally going against gravity in a way. You're going against all the pressures of the world, all the judgments, all the opinions, all the frequencies, all the bombardment, and you're still your being, your essence, and you're still pushing through. And it is, you know, it takes resilience. And it takes that integrity, that inner integral force to breathe through and to push through.
Yeah.
And all of that becomes just catalyst for more of the if you want to call that the dragon fire, the dragon breath, as we breathe through it. Mm-hmm. And we can do this together, is what I'm being told and shown, is like, we don't even have to push through alone. We can link up together as that DNA strand to inform reality. As the light comes through us, we are telling the reality, as the reality is the greater being. Us as a DNA fractal strand is informing what the reality is going to be. And we do that as we link up together, and then we push and we open and form.
That makes sense. That makes absolute sense. And I think it's actually happening.
It is actually happening. We're magnetizing the ones who are the pieces of that puzzle. They just come in. Hey, they just show up. They find you, and you're like, I can't believe you're real. You're the piece that I've been feeling inside me. And like, it's just wild what you can call in.
Yeah.
How can you call it in? Because it's you.
Yes.
You're calling it inside and showing up outside.
Yeah. And here's the thing too, is like, that's coming through for me is really loud, is you can't go back. Like, you can't go back in any way.
No going back.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you can't. And it's actually a really cool thing, because anything you quote unquote have, if you understand that everything's behind you, and it's you're in this moment now with that energy, it's going to be expanded. You're going to be expanded. It's going to be expanded. But there's no looking back anymore. I mean, it's always going to be with us. We've already experienced it, but you know, it's just like getting really loud.
You just reminded me of a song. It was the first time light language ever came through me, and I caught it on camera.
Yeah.
And it was a song, and I'll reproduce it, but it's not going to be fully authentic, because once I sing it, I'll never be able to sing it again. That's how it comes through.
Yeah.
But I'll just bring it through.
All right.
Ooh, ooh, aye. Ooh, ooh, aye. Ooh, ooh, aye. Every pattern's different, even though it's the same. Every pattern's different. What is it that remains? There's no going back. There's no going back. There's no going back. There never was. There never was. Ooh, ooh, aye. Ooh, ooh, aye. Ooh, ooh, aye. Don't forget. Ooh, ooh, aye. Every pattern's different. So what is it that remains? What is it that remains? What is it that remains? Shoo. Now I'm hearing Alicia singing. Leave the stories behind to unlock the gates. 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 Unlock the gates. Unlock the gates.
Very cool. Very cool. We, Elsa from Florida. I know you guys connected with her.
Oh, Alisha. She's the
Alisha.
sister.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm
One
sorry
of
I got
us.
your name
One
wrong,
of
Alisha.
us.
Yeah, so I was, yeah. It's always cool to see people that connect through Soulogy. But
Yes.
I knew that you, so I was down there, we were down there, and she had this, I guess it was like a drum circle, but it was an improv. It was an improv circle more than a drum circle. Now there was drums there, and there was about, I filmed it. There was probably, I don't know, maybe 20 people. And so we went around in a circle and everybody just did whatever they did. Right. And it was very, very cool. It was very, very cool. Like this chick, a couple of people away from me, had a guitar and she was concluding. And the person between us said, "Hey, I don't want to go. You just go." So like I started rapping with her while she was playing an acoustic guitar. So like that's the kind of energy that when you what you just did, I think it's so powerful, and it's a lot like these downloads. There's no words there.
Yeah.
You can find the words, you can, but
They
it's
find
for
you.
me anyway. It's coming so fast. I have done this, a lot the last couple of days, which was I accept this activation.
Yes.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you. It is done. Just to kind of declare what I'm feeling in that moment, not trying to understand it, and just moving on to the next one, because we know there's a lot of them coming every day. Thank you, Alicia Hall. All right.
Yes, thank you.
We're gonna come back and hey, what happened? Somebody left. Venus. Kate, troublemaker.
Come back.
Kate, are you there? Venus. Oh, Venus. I'm your Venus. Okay. So, hey.
Yes.
So yeah, a little Pulp Fiction.
Those are so the vibes.
Yeah, I forgot. Oh, we have this guy coming on, Peter Evans. He'll be on in an hour and 10 minutes. It's going to be running 30 minutes late at his request. He is very well known in Australia, apparently, and he's in the middle of controversy regarding freedom of speech, basically.
Wow.
He's been very polarizing over there. Sounds like our kind of people. It'll be interesting to see. He's also like a world-class chef too. I went to his website.
Gorgeous. We need those agitators, right? We need the ones
Yeah.
to agitate the energy and break it apart so that we can see, feel.
That's right. It'll be interesting to see when he woke up, because like in the stuff that I was looking at, you don't see, specifically like maybe the subject matter that we have, but I have a feeling it'll be very interesting. And there's been a huge response. I mean, Morgan put it on her page and I mean, literally, people are just, and even on my page. So he must be very
Wow.
well known. So that'll be interesting today.
Yeah, can't wait to tune in.
Right on. And then I forget who else. Don't ask me. I forget all the time. So
thank you, Todd. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you too. I look forward to more collaborations. I don't know why Venus can't come on. I can see her trying to come on, but it's okay. And it's good to see you. All blessings to all three of you and all of your loved ones. And I'll see you at the next collaboration. Okay.
All right. We'll see you there. Much love, brother.